figure I showed you, first level, top level, middle level. Okay, I mean first, middle, top, and then different skills, conceptual and design skills, mm, technical skills, human skills. I told you it's very important, asked in different ways. See, this is one way it is asked. Okay. See, again, 1A is repeat from another question paper. If you see that, how are five basic functions of management process related? Same thing what you saw in 5A in the first. Okay, now if you see the last question there, question 1B from one of the question papers, describe the role of competitive advantage. How can Porter's competitive strategies help you develop a competitive advantage? This is what we discussed last class, last slide, what I told you right now. Overall cost leadership, differentiation strategy, focus strategy. We have to write that and relate with what is asked. If you see another question there, the top part, the there is a small case asked, and this question was asked. That case I have not put it here, but the question asked, you see what was it? From that case, you are asked to find out any three principles that were applied in that case, principles of management. And in that case, there was one principle which was being violated there. So it is asked. Okay, 3 plus 1, 4 marks. So this is the question on principles of management. If you see 5C there, this is the question on managerial roles. If you remember, I'm telling you again, functions are what this planning, leading and all that. Roles are interpersonal roles, informational roles, decisional roles. In interpersonal, there are three. Okay, figurehead role, leader role, liaison role. In informational, there are three. In decisional, there are four. So this is related to that question. Okay, the manager reads the journal while having while having coffee in the morning. Which role and which specific role? So the role will be, informational role. Specific role will be he's scanning for information outside. Okay, something like that. You'll have to write. If you see, for example, you'll have to just figure this out. Okay, so role category is interpersonal, informational, or decisional. Specific role is, which is the one perfect we are talking about. If you write that, just 3 marks in your pocket. Very simple. Okay. See, another way of asking questions. First one, if you see there, um, explain any four principles of management. So I told you, out of 14, always it will be asked in some way or the other. This is how it is asked here. Okay. If you look at question 2B, we have not done this yet. We will be doing this today. Okay, it's the question from Boston Consulting Matrix or business portfolio analysis. We'll do that today after SWOT analysis. Okay, 6 mark question asked from that. Okay. Now see that question 1A, managerial roles, what we discussed now. Okay, 1B is not from this. If you see 1C, again, how different managerial skills and managerial levels, same thing. First level, middle level, top level, different skills, different way it is asked. If you look at 2B there, okay, difference between policy, procedure, rules. We had seen this in last class. Policy means guidelines, procedure is chronological sequence of events, how it is to be done. Rules are strict do's and don'ts. Give one example. Okay, explain with a neat sketch strategic planning process. We have not done this. We will be doing this after the SWOT analysis and BCG matrix. This is another important figure from this. Out of 6, this is the fourth important figure. Okay. Question 2B. Briefly describe the planning process. Here you are asked to explain the 8 steps in planning, which you had seen in the last class. Okay. And see question 2 from another question paper. Explain interpersonal informational roles by managers given by Mintzberg. See, cakewalk for you. Okay, another question, fourth one. See, some qualities are given there, and then you are asked which of them is strength, which of them is weakness, which is opportunity, which is threat. So you'll have to tell. First one, strong brand image of competitor. What it is, strength, weakness, opportunity, or threat. We'll see that today. Technological skills, in which category you can put it. And once you have put that, draw a TOWS matrix and keep it like that. No need of explaining. Okay, so we'll see that what is TOWS matrix today. And the last question there, question number 5. Explain systems approach to management. I told you last class we had seen very important figure. Input, process, output, things go into the environment, again it is pumped back in. Okay, that is systems approach to management. Draw and explain, 3 marks in your pocket. So these are the ways questions are asked from these chapters what you have seen so far. Yeah, so we will start with the SWOT analysis today. So this is critical question analysis, which we had seen in the last class. Okay, so SWOT analysis, this will help you in strategic planning, one of the strategic planning tools. So here you're talking about strength, weakness, opportunity and threat of any organization. Nowadays the word threat has been replaced by challenges. So in your question paper, if you see SWOC, don't get shocked. Okay, because nowadays people feel threat is a negative word, challenge is a nice word. So they have replaced it by challenge, strength, weakness, opportunity and challenges. So meaning is the same, SWOC. Okay, in this what happens is you sit down and jot the things in this. Okay, what is our strength? So there are some things you put that in strength. So what is our weakness, like this. So in this what you have to remember is strength and weaknesses. When we talk about something internal to the organization. Okay, opportunity and threat, this is the external part of the organization. So there is any point given, is this strength, weakness, opportunity or threat, just see it. If it is something internal to the organization, it will fall in strength or weakness. If it is something external, it will fall in opportunity or threat. Okay, in the question paper I showed you 6 7 points were asked, which is strength, which is weakness. So this is the way you categorize. Anything internal is strength and weakness, anything external is opportunity or threat. Okay, so what are the things you can consider as strengths? Okay, see, strength is first of all something that puts you in advantage compared to others. Okay, something inside your organization which puts you, which gives you some leverage, which gives you some competitive advantage compared to your competitors. So what kind of things can you think on this? So it could be abundant financial resources. Your organization has lot of cash, lot of revenue generation. Okay, things are getting sold, more profit is coming, more revenue. So this is your strength. Okay, so internal to the organization, strength. Well-known brand name. Okay, you have a well-established brand name. You can start anything new with that brand name, it may click. So that is your strength. Okay, now Tata has a good brand name. Okay, so it's into steel, it's into automobiles and whatever. So it starts selling salt, people will buy Tata salt. But if you think Mahe, it has got good brand name, but Mahe, if they start making salt, people may think, what is this? Okay, so you have a good brand name, but it should be in the right sectors. Okay, Tata is in consumer goods also, FMCG, fast moving consumer goods, soaps they have and other things they have. So they make salt, people may believe it. Okay, it may be good quality. Okay, but if suddenly someone Coke makes salt, people may think it is not the salt what we are eating, it is some other salt. Okay, I mean Coca-Cola I'm talking about. Okay, so like that. So well-known brand name is a strength. Okay, you can start something new with that. People have the trust on you already. Okay, economies of scale. This is your strength. Okay, last time in economics you must have come across this economies of scale. See, economies of scale means the more you produce, the per product cost comes down. That is called economies of scale. Now suppose I set up a factory spending 10 crores and I'm making one laptop out of it. So the price of the laptop should be more than 10 crores. I should get the investment and profit, no? So maybe 10 crore 5 rupees I'm charging. Okay, now with the same setup I'm making two laptops. So the per product cost has come down to 5 crore. I'm making 4. It has come down still. I'm making 50. I'm making 100, 1 lakh, 10 lakh laptops I'm making. So the per product cost has come down. Okay, so the more you produce, the per product cost comes down. This is called economies of scale. Now we know, but all cannot do this. This comes with a cost. To produce say 1 lakh laptops, you need so much of raw materials. You need so much of infrastructure. Where will you keep the raw materials? You need inventory. Okay, then so much of manpower, then so much of, after finishing the goods, you need again inventory to store it. Then you need distributors, you need retail, so many things, not easy. Okay, so all companies cannot have these economies of scale. But if you have that, that is your strength. Okay, now many big companies have that economies of scale. They produce more. Lakhs of soaps they produce, per product cost comes down. Lakhs of pens they produce, per product cost comes down. Okay, so like this, the more you produce, if you can get the cost down, that is called economies of scale, but not possible for every business. So but if you have, it's called your strength. Okay, see, lower cost. See, you are buying so much of raw material from bulk. Okay, in bulk you are buying, so you can negotiate and get the cost down. So that's your strength. Okay, if you have a big firm and you're buying raw material in bulk, you can negotiate and get it down. Okay, but not possible for any small firms or something. Okay, where you will keep it, how will you store it, do you have that much of production, you have to finish it off. So it can be challenging for some, but if you have that capacity, that is your strength. Okay, superior management talent. See, we know that best brains come with some best price, so you should be able to incorporate them, pay them, and look after them well. If you can do that, that is your strength. Otherwise these people will jump into another firm. Okay, other people may headhunt them and then take them, join our firm, we will give you handsome salary or whatever. Okay, so that is also one strength if you are able to retain these best brains. So why, how are you able to retain? Your work policy is good, work culture is good, you are looking after the employees well, ethically you are doing good business, so many positive things that people want to stay in your organization. So if you can do that, that is your strength. Okay, better marketing skills. See, you produce something but you cannot market it properly, then there is no point in, you will struggle for survival. So some companies are good in this marketing skills. Okay, so that is your strength. You are able to capture audience attention. If you look at Amul or something, they'll jump into anything that is latest, contemporary, something is happening, they'll join in there and people will relate with it. Okay, nowadays you must have seen meme marketing. Okay, because memes are the new, people are following it, it's getting viral. So companies jump into that and they're trying to relate it with their product. Okay, so if you're able to do that, if you're hesitant, no need. Let's go by traditional thing and all, someone else may overtake you. So if you're ready for these kind of things, that is your strength. Okay, good distribution skills. So you have produced everything, you have a good market, but your product distribution is not proper. Then that is, it may backfire. Now see, if you look at Maggie or something, any small shop, kirana shop you go, you'll find their Maggie. Okay, good distribution skills. They make sure that everywhere it is available. If it was not available in the small shops, only in supermarket you have to go. Okay, what will people do? Now if you are hungry, 5 or 10 rupees in your pocket, or 15-20 rupees in your pocket, go to any nearby shop, get Maggie, come and cook and eat. Okay, so that is good distribution skill. It's available everywhere. See, you must have seen some movie advertisement really in pre-COVID era, releasing at a theater near you. Okay, why are they telling that? That means you need not go in search of this movie some metro places. It's available. It getting distributed nicely. It will release at a theater near you. Okay, so it is released in a nearby theater. People go and watch. Otherwise, if it was only released in metros, so they lose the business. Okay, they have that kind of network that they are releasing at every place. So that is good distribution skill. Okay, one thing I always remember when I discuss this is about that Hershey's chocolate syrup. Okay, I used to see that only in Hollywood movies sometime back, or some foreign ads and all that Hershey's chocolate syrup. It was not available in all the places in India. So once they showed it in TV some 7-8 years back, if I remember, that Hershey's chocolate syrup sachet pack is available 10 rupees or something. So even though I don't like this chocolate much, I thought I should experiment with that 10 rupees sachet pack, because otherwise the full bottle is, I know, very costly. I don't remember. I've seen that and left it. I can't afford that because I don't like chocolate. After one or two drinks, I don't like it. Then it's a waste. So I thought this sachet pack is good for this kind of experimentation. So I saw it on TV. It's available now. Then I went to buy it. I could not get it anywhere. I went to Manipal so many places that it's their sachet pack. No, only full bottle. But in TV they are showing it's available everywhere. Then I lost interest. I learned. Then after so many years, then it started coming everywhere. Okay, see now you lost one customer. Okay, like this that could be many. You're telling it's available, but it's not available. Then how will people get to know about your product? Okay, so if you're telling it's available everywhere, make sure it is available everywhere. And to make it available everywhere, you should have good distribution skills. Okay, if you have that, that is your strength. Okay, committed employees. Okay, you must have heard about Tata and all, how committed their employees are. If you have heard about that 9/11 attack, no, 26/11. I got confused. 26/11, I guess. If you, when that Taj had this attack problem and all, you must have read some stories how their employees, keeping their life at risk, helped others, served others, so showed their commitment. Okay, so that is strength. And how do you get that? By treating your people at par. Okay, giving them all facilities. Don't discriminate, make them feel the organization is theirs. If you can have these kind of feelings instilled, that is your strength. Okay, good. Many organizations have this. If you see, they give the shares to the employees so that employee has a share in the organization. You know, taking care of them, flexible work, flexible work hours, focusing on their work-life balance, doing so many things. So employees are committed. If you can do this, all these are your strengths. Okay, there are many more, but these are some of the things which we usually come across and we can relate with. So these are the strengths. Okay, something that puts you in advantage with the competitor. Now, if you look at the weaknesses, again, something internal to the organizations we are talking here, this will be everything other than what you spoke in strength. Okay, it will be ulta of that. Like, in strengths you spoke about, abundant financial resources. Now here, limited financial resource is your, weakness. You have money, but invested in so many other places. Suddenly you cannot get that liquid cash. You are stuck for money. You are stuck for space. Okay, so that could be your weakness. Now you cannot, go for expansion or something. You are stuck there. Weakness. Okay, weak spending on R&D. You are not so aggressive. You didn't want to spend on R&D. So what happens? Someone else will overtake you and go. Okay, because what is there today? See, there is one saying, tomorrow's technology becomes obsolete yesterday in today's world. If you think deeply, you'll find out the technology that is supposed to come tomorrow has already become obsolete yesterday. Okay, because you must have seen, because it is designed somewhere, it has to come, it has to launch in the market. By that time, something else has come already. Okay, so if you are not spending on R&D, so reluctant, want to wait for others to do and then take over, it can be a weakness. Okay, very narrow product line. So what happens now? If you look at, Colgate, Colgate Plain is there, Colgate Renew is there, Colgate with salt is there, Colgate with lime is there, Colgate with charcoal, Colgate with I don't know what and all. Colgate with chocolate is not there, I guess. But what you can see, how many different varieties. Colgate gel is there. Same thing with close up and other things. Okay, what is this? Why they are doing this? See, they are doing this. Now, suppose you wanted to buy Colgate. Colgate is not there, and only one variant is there in Colgate. So it's not that. You'll switch to something else. Okay, give me close up. I need toothpaste urgently. I'm buying it, and then you may like close up, and then you may become loyal to close up only. You're buying that only from now. So Colgate lost a customer. So what they do, they give you different variants. If this is not there, you'll at least purchase that. Or if you think this the one I'm using is boring, so you have different varieties. You're still stuck with the same brand. Okay, but if you don't have these kind of product lines, people may switch to other. They may switch business and go to others. So that is, very narrow product line. This can be a weakness. Okay, limited distribution. Like I told you, your distribution is not proper, your product is not getting distributed across all shops, some places it's not available. So this can be a weakness. See, out of date products or technology. See, nowadays, 1 TB pen drive, 32 GB pen drive, these kind of things have come, and you're still selling 1 GB pen drive. Okay, see, that's out of date product. Nobody wants that now. Or if you're selling floppy disk or memory card, or 50 MB, 42 MB, 128 MB memory card you're selling now, GB, TBs have come and you're selling that. So it's out of date. That's a weakness. You may be thrown out of business. Okay. Weak market image. Lead in Coke, sorry, lead in Maggie, chemical in Pepsi, something, these kind of things happen. Your market image is, shaken. So that can be a weakness. Okay. Your board of directors have been caught in some fraud. Something has happened. Banks are, ED is coming and raiding. So many things are happening. Your company gets bad name. So it's a problem for you. It's a weakness, weak market image. People may not want to do business with you. You may lose customers, more customers may not come. Okay. Poor marketing skills. You have everything, but your marketing is not up to the par. You're not able to, capture the market. This can be a weakness. Happens to many companies. Okay. If you look at Micromax, there was one brand called Micromax phone. Okay, they could not market properly, and whatever they tried, it backfired. If you remember, you must be very small that time, maybe 10 years, 8 years before. Micromax, it was heavily advertised during IPL times. If you have seen, you may remember, any team is batting, maybe your team is batting, I mean, the team you like is playing. One wicket goes, that ad comes, and Akshay Kumar laughs in that one cranky manner, crazy manner. He laughs and goes. Your intention, and this ad keeps on repeating. Your team is not winning. This ad comes. It will irritate you. You will have a negative attitude towards that ad. Okay, normal soothing ad which does not disturb you will be fine. Okay, normal ad. But this kind of one crazy person coming and laughing with that crazy laugh, you may feel irritated. Okay, instead of being attracted to that brand, you may feel what nonsense. Your team is playing 14 matches and losing 12 matches there, last in the league. You are totally frustrated. Some may have already, okay, no, forget about that. You are irritated, and then these kind of ads come. Okay, so it can irritate people. So you should be able to capture people's mind, like what that Zuzu, that Vodafone ad did during IPL. Okay, nice soothing ads, very creative. People are actually focused next what kind of things they will do. It was a huge hit. Okay, so if you cannot do those kind of things, that can be your weakness. Okay, limited management skills, undertrained employees. Say you're a chain of hotel business, but people are undertrained. They don't know how to treat the customers. So these kind of things can have a negative impact. So these are all your weaknesses. So we saw strength and weaknesses which are internal. I'm repeating this again and again. Now we'll see opportunities and threat which are external. Okay, these are not in your hands, but something from the outside. Okay, opportunity is some kind of lucrative situation which you can bank on. Okay, rapid market growth. So you are doing something, you are into some business, but there's a rapid market growth for that one. So that is your opportunity. Make hay while the sun shines. Okay, maybe you are into food distribution business. So you know that there's a rapid growth in this business. Zomato and Swiggy are there. Then there are some small players. This is your time to jump in and try to get the market with whatever strategies you can adopt. Okay, there's opportunity for that. Now there's a good opportunity for OTT platforms. Okay, people are not going for movies much because of whatever restrictions. They want to sit at home and stream and whatever. So there's no ample opportunity. So instead of making films and releasing in theaters, you can release it in OTT platforms. That's a good opportunity. Okay, these kind of things. Rival firms are complacent, so this is not in your hands. No, so this is opportunity. See, nobody is doing some aggressive thing. Everybody is stagnant in the market. Okay, no, you know no new campaigns by any competitors. Everybody is stagnant, so this is your chance. Come out with a new campaign and try to capture the market. Okay, now after COVID, okay, last time IPL was there, September, October, then silent, then now again IPL is coming. So people who are associated with that, is a nice chance for you. Just get into it. Nice opportunities there. If you're a new brand, try to connect. You get a lot of brand recall, recognition. People will be aware of your product. Good chance for you. So like that. Okay. So changing customer needs. So this can be looked at two ways: opportunity and threat also. Now what is this changing customer needs? See, traditionally we are all used to this kind of breakfast: idli, dosa, vada, parathas, and like this kind of things. But now what is happening, many families, dual income families, husband wife have to work. They don't have time to make this dosa, idli and all, so they are looking at some quick breakfast options. So if you are into this kind of business, breakfast providing business, that's a chance for you, opportunity. There is a lot of market for this quick breakfast, even for students. Okay, you cannot wait for the cook comes at 10, 11. You have to eat breakfast and come. You got a plate, what to do? So then comes this cornflakes and all those things, or some easy breakfast providers and so many like this. Instant mix is there, just mix it and eat. In within 5 minutes, the batter is there, dosa batter you get now. Just heat the pan, make the dosa and eat with after pickle, jam, or some kind of bread, whatever. So many things, Szechuan sauce, everything is available. So this is a business for you now, changing customer needs. Okay, because this lifestyle is changing, this is a chance for you. Now you must have seen, many of you must be ordering also this health-based foods. I don't know what's it called. Not getting the word. Who will calculate these calories and all, give you healthy food. They supply, okay, at your address. We'll put in diet food. Okay, so people want to do that more and more. So this is an opportunity for you. You can jump into it and do well. See, new users for product discovered. Your product was meant to be something, but some new use is discovered. So this is the opportunity for you. You must have seen now in lockdown. See, effectively, smelt for acidity. You drink in 6 minutes, sorry, 6 seconds, acidity gone and all that thing. But in lockdown, you must have seen people making cake with Okay, so a new use is discovered. Now people want to buy and put it when you make cakes because it's like baking soda, some kind of effect you get. So like this. So this is a chance for you. Okay. See, economic boom. You understand that people are having lot of jobs. There is solid boom in the market. Real estate is going up. Lots of jobs are created. So this is the opportunity. If you are into whatever business, see that people have money, try to encash. See, government deregulation. See, this is opportunity. Now, suppose you are into Ayurvedic, some herbal kind of business. Government says no tax for this. There will be subsidy for this and all. Government is supporting. So this is the best opportunity for you. You can save a lot of money, sell more. You can get into that. Okay, so that is government deregulation. Not in your hand, but when they have done it, that's your opportunity for you. See, sales decline for a substitute product. In economics you must have seen what is the substitute products like tea, coffee, coke, Pepsi, these kind of things. So sales decline for a substitute product. Somebody told if you drink coffee this will happen, that will happen. So coffee sales have gone down and you are into tea business, good market for you. Okay, try to capture the market. Or someone is told tea is bad, you are into coffee, solid opportunity for you. Okay, so these are some of the opportunities, some kind of things that can put you ahead of the competitors, which are not in your hands, which are outside. Okay, now just like strengths and weaknesses, complementary. This opportunity and threats or challenges are complementary. Okay, now some kind of threats. What kind of threats you can think of in the market? This can put you in a back seat compared to your competitor. This is like, for example, entry of foreign competitors. You are making mobile phone, selling at 10,000, 12,000, 15,000. Suddenly China phone comes and sell at 5,000, 6,000, whatever. It's a big threat for you, huge threat. Okay, how they are making at that price, it's left to them, whatever, maybe economies of scale and so many things. And but it's a challenge for you now. How will you deal with it? Okay, you have to then start something, Swadeshi kind of thing, made in India, whatever. You have to do so many things to remain in the business. See, introduction of new substitute products. You are talking about tea and coffee and fighting with each other. Then green tea comes in. So more threat for you. Okay, you thought you are making coffee, only tea drinkers are threat for you. Now from your coffee drinkers, people are moving to green tea for health reasons or whatever. So that's a challenge for you now. Okay, threat for you. See, product decline and product life cycle in decline. In the later slides, I'll show you what is this product life cycle. Okay, see any product you can think of, any product from the inception of mankind to now, any product you think of, it has to pass through a life cycle. Okay, it's called introduction, growth, maturity, and decline. It's a kind of inverted C-shaped graph. Okay, I'll show you later. So much detail is not there in your syllabus, but for your understanding, I'm telling you. So introduction, growth, maturity, decline. So any product, first introduction stage, where people will gradually start to know about that product, it exists and all that. Then competitors also may try to come, but that time your market knows that your product exists, sales are happening, so you're in growth stage. So here competitors come in. Then after some time, people will think the competitor is giving it a lower price. What is special about this product? Everybody has it. It's kind of matured, stagnant. People are saturated with it. At this time, you should do something new and again reinvent that curve, or else there will be decline. Your product will go out of the market. Take any product. Take for example Apple first version iPhone introduction, path breaking, breakthrough kind of product. People went crazy. Disruptive innovation, touch screen and all that. People went crazy. So in that growth stage, others slowly came in, that competitors, Samsung, whatever, so many people. Then maturity. Okay, people are saturated, nothing new. Other people have more features. So that time Apple had to come with next generation phone. Otherwise, it would have gone decline there itself. So after that next decline, next phone, again that curve is there. Okay, introduction, people are getting used to it. Then comes the growth. Now competitors also have giving the same features. Then comes maturity. If you don't do anything new, you will lose the market. Okay, then comes the next generation phone, like this. So take any product for that matter. Take your whatever you can think of. So when you know decide where the product is in this curve, Okay, you will find out what to do. Suppose it is in decline stage, then you have to do something to reinvent. Okay, otherwise you will be out of your business. So that is the importance of this product life cycle. See again, changing customer needs. Now this is a threat for. Last time we saw how it is useful. Now again, you are into some business, but people are not using that product anymore. Their lifestyle has changed. Okay, you are selling Haldiram Bhujia and all, but people are telling, no, I'm health conscious. That will increase my weight. It has got these calories, that calories. I will eat only baked chips. Some companies. So then people's this kind of attitude is threat for you. See, rival firms adopt new strategies. Like I told you, last time we saw everybody were complacent, no much aggression from anyone. But suddenly you see everybody is active now, so it's a threat for you. Everybody is going for a big new campaign, rebranding, repositioning. They're attacking the market. So now you have to do something, or people will, switch to those brands, and you'll be out of your business. See, increased government regulation. Suppose government is charging so many tax in the business that you are in. Now suppose you are into meat business, so the government says beef ban, you cannot do that and all. So it's a threat for you. You have to go into poultry, sell eggs or whatever. You will have to switch. Okay, economic downturn. Imagine there's a kind of recession like what happened in the initial corona days. Job loss is a bad situation, so many businesses suffered. So these kind of things are threat for you. Okay, so this is your strength, weakness, opportunity, threat. So this is a strategic planning tool. This helps you plan for 4 5 years in future. Okay, but by jotting this down, nothing happens. When you're doing a SWOT analysis, a panel sits together and then jots all these. These are our strengths, weaknesses, opportunity, threat. But what you are doing now? It's only on the paper. Now you have to execute it. Okay, that execution can be seen here. This is called the TOWS matrix. Okay, TOWS, reverse of SWOT. So just have a look at this. I'll just have a sip of water. Yeah. So if you after the SWOT analysis, now you are seeing next what we can do with whatever we have jotted down. So you look at this table, you try to do this table. So what happens here, if you look at the top row there, okay, internal factors are strength and weaknesses. And if you see the first column, external factors, so opportunity and threat. So SWOT you have written. So from this you can get 4 strategies. One is SO strategy, that is called maximizing the strength, maximizing the opportunity. It's called maximax strategy. Like that, you have WO strategy, minimize the weakness, sorry, maximize the opportunity. Same way, ST, maximize strength, minimize threat. Same way, WT, minimize weakness, sorry, minimize threat. So once you have done all these things, you plot this and then decide what you want to do. Okay, now for example, say my MIT did all this, whatever our strength, whatever our opportunity, that everything is done. So now what can we do for next 4 5 years? Where we should focus? It can be anything depending on company's choice. See, maxi means this is the potentially the most successful strategy. Okay, you're maximizing your capacity, focusing on strength and focusing on opportunity, going all out. Okay, see, we have good infrastructure, good faculty, good hostels, whatever, so many things we have, and there's a lot of scope for data analytics and all this. We'll start that course, we'll go all out, whatever, you can do that. Okay, or you can think of minimax. Okay, you are minimizing your weaknesses and maximizing on the opportunity. Okay, so there are some things that are not in your hands, so you're playing with it carefully, but since opportunity is there, you're going to capture that. Okay, or we can go for ST. Okay, maximize the strength and using that try to beat the threats. Okay, wherever there are problems, some branches there are no takers, so focus on the branches that can give you more students, so you can go with that. Or WT strategy, this is usually we see this in retrenchment, liquidation, or whatever. See, for example, there was a branch here called nuclear engineering, there were no takers for that. finally they closed it. Okay, weakness is we don't have faculty who can teach nuclear engineering. Okay, we don't have that kind of nuclear engineering labs, and there are no takers for it. So instead of still hanging on, we'll just close the branch. So like that, it can happen to any organization. It's not a matter of shame. Okay, you must have seen so many. See, Tata themselves, Tata Mobile, Tata Communication was there. If you remember, Tata Indicom on phone was there. It didn't work well, so they closed it off. So there is no shame in that. It's a wise strategy. If you cannot, hang on, you can just wind it up. So that is also one strategy. So that resources you can put in somewhere and then you can grow. So from the SWOT analysis, this is the result. You are making a TOWS matrix, and then there are 4 strategies. You are then deciding which is the best strategy to take. Okay, it can be anything. Now, if some question is asked to you about some case, do this TOWS matrix and which strategy you suggest, it can be anything, but you have to just justify. There is no hard and fast rule that this is the correct answer. There is no one correct answer. Depends on how you justify. Okay, so that for that you should know what consists of this strength SWOT and how we can make this matrix, plotting SW and all that, and which strategy you recommend. As simple as that. Okay. Now see, this figure says that this has to be done repeatedly. Once you have done SWOT analysis by spending so much of money, doesn't mean you're done for life. Okay, it keeps changing. What was your strength yesterday need not be your strength today. Okay, see, 3-4 years back, we had 20 hostels, 22 hostels. That was our strength. Okay, but last year that itself proved to be kind of weakness because online people were not there. Revenue was not coming. So why we had so many hostels? It looked like that. So things keep changing. But again, now when things are normal, it's our strength. So we cannot rely on a SWOT analysis we did some 5 years before. In 2015, we did some SWOT analysis and we are still going with it. No, things will change. Okay, so this has to be done periodically, maybe say 6 months, 1 year or whatever, because there's a rapid change in the market, changing customer needs and all that. We have seen those things. Your market image, it can get damaged, it can get better. Okay, some celebrity associated with you gets into some problem, you are suffering. Like if you're, what is that, Amir Khan, some brand, what was it? I forgot, Sifi or something. Some kind of, I forgot. Okay, something. They had to remove him from the brand ambassadorship. So many places it has happened. Okay, so what is good today may not be good tomorrow. Your image gets tarnished, gets better, whatever. So this has to be done periodically. Okay, that is the meaning of this. So this is one strategic planning tool. Now we'll see this another strategic planning tool. This is called BCG matrix. Okay, it's called Boston Consulting Group matrix. This was given by BCG, that company, in 1970s. Okay, see, there are n number of strategic planning tools. In your syllabus there are 4, and this is the last one that we'll discuss. So BCG matrix, in this what happens is you classify the businesses. I'll show you the graph based on the relative market share and the market growth rate. See, there is market share of, say, market share means, now suppose there are 170 students in this class and I have one mobile phone and you are buying my mobile phone, everybody. So market share is 100%. Okay, now there is a situation where only 50% are buying my phone, 50% are buying some other phone. So my market share is 50%. So there are 10 mobile phones. So different people are buying. So only 10% may have my mobile. So that is my market share. So that is how we look at market share. Market growth rate is, see, now 10% have my phone, but the reviews are good. More and more people want to buy. There's a chance that more and more people will buy. That means the growth rate is high. Okay, increasingly people are looking at my phones. So when you plot things against these two, you get some results. Okay, that is what we call it as Boston Consulting Matrix, BCG matrix. Okay, now when we are deciding about this, when we are talking about this, this is applicable for businesses which have multiple products. So this entire thing is for one business. Okay, any business, what happens here is you have multiple products or multiple businesses. So you make this analysis and tell which is the best for you, where you can focus, which one you can close down. For example, if you look at Tata, okay, Tata has automobile, steel, FMCG, so many things. So you can make this analysis. and find out, okay, this is giving them highest profit, they can focus on this. This is not giving them any sales, they can, go for retrenchment or merger, acquisition, whatever. So this is the outcome of this analysis. So you plot market share and market growth rate of different products of the same company, and then you can find out which is the best option for them, which is the product giving them highest whatever benefits. Okay, so when you plot this against market share and market growth rate, there are four quadrants that you get. Okay, see, let me tell you, if you look at different textbooks, that low and high could be different. In this figure, if you see at the left hand side, there is high, then the low is towards the right. Okay, so in some textbooks, foreign textbooks, it could be low to high. So based on that, the figures will change, but the concept is same. Okay, where high and high comes, that product is called star. Okay, high market share, high market growth rate, that product is called star. See, low market share but high growth rate possible, you don't know, you are not sure, so that is called question mark. Okay, like I told you, right now there are only 10% people buying my phone, and there's a chance that sale could go up, but I am not sure. Okay, that is called question mark. In foreign textbooks it's called problem child. Okay, so don't get confused. So that is question mark product. Now my market share is high, but market growth rate is low. Now many have my phone, but now the growth rate is becoming low. So that is called cash cow. The meaning here is, milk the cow, like that. That's called cash cow. You sell it and make money or whatever, milk that. That is the meaning. That's the interpretation. And there is dogs. Okay, that means very low market share, very low growth rate, difficult to survive. Very few people have my product, and not many are interested also. So that is called dogs. So we tell them sometimes that business has gone to dogs. Okay, like this what we mean. So again, in simple terms, a organization which has multiple products can use this analysis to find out which product is best for them, from which they can, not they are not getting business, they can close down or whatever, cash cow, whatever. Okay, so when the market share is high, growth rate is high, it's called star. When the market share is low but growth rate could be high, that is question mark. When market share is high but growth rate is doubtful, now that is called cash cow. So usually cash cows are these products which were stars before. Okay, they were once stars, many people had it, more wanted to buy, but because of competition or whatever, now the sudden sales have gone down. So that is called cash cow. Okay, milk it, you sell it, buy one get one free, whatever, try to make money out of it. So that is the overall simple meaning of this. Okay, now just let us some things here. See, if you look at this figure here, it starts from low to high, but when high and high, it is star. So don't get confused. You can draw any figure, but when high and high comes, it should be star. Low and low are dogs. Okay, so I'll give an example. I'll switch, but I'll first take the attendance on 63. Okay, attendance is taken. Let me just switch off the recording for a while. Yeah, so another way of, for your simple understanding, don't write this anywhere, it's not right, but just for you to understand, if you classify MIT's different branches into this, you will find out. Okay, you'll understand which could be what. Now there are 16 branches in MIT, so which one can you consider as stars? Okay, something that gets filled fast, there's a lot of opportunity, campus placements happening, alumni are, very giving good feedback, companies are coming and looking at them for placements, so you can call them as stars. Okay, high market share and high growth rate. We can classify maybe CSE, E&C and all into that, and maybe aeronautical, automobile, I don't know. Okay, there's no correct answer, but that could be stars. Now, what could be cash cows? Cash cows were stars before. Once they were the hot selling people, or hot selling branches. But now there is some doubt. Okay, if you ask me, I would classify mech or civil into this. Once upon a time, they were the heartthrobs. They were, engineering means mech or civil. All other things are bachchas, they were the hot ones. But now, other branches have overtaken them. So I would put them into cash cow. And if you ask me question mark are something which are, something relatively new. You don't know, okay, how it is going to react. I would put mechatronics into this. Okay, I don't know. Maybe Aero Auto also we can put into this, or I don't know. Just for you to understand. Okay, so MIT can classify different branches according to this, and then you can devise a strategy. We are going to focus on this. We are going to advertise this or whatever. So then there are docs about that. We will not talk. Okay. So if you understand that different branches how we can classify, my work is done. Okay. Fine. So if you look at, I'll send you these slides. When you are free later, have some look at these examples. Okay. If you look at Apple, okay, iPad. No, this is not a recent figure. So some 2 3 years back, iPad and iPhones for Apple company were the stars, giving it maximum revenue, maximum sales are happening. The company is known for that. iPad. Okay. So iPod was cash cow then. Once it was hot selling, but now that time it has become cash. I mean cash cow because iPod, different phones have music, different other things are there. People need not buy exclusive iPod for music. So it was kind of cash cow. Okay, then question mark, maybe Apple Watch or something. Don't know how people, how much is the market share. People are really interested or not, or people are going to other Fitbits, other brands. Competition is there. So like this, you can classify. Okay, if you see, look at Tata Group. This is not a recent figure, but just for your understanding, the stars are Tata Hotels, Tata Steel, Tata Power, Tata Motors, giving lot of revenue. It eats money also. You have to pump in for advertising, lot of investment, but it's giving you good returns. Okay, cash cow could be Tata Tea or Tata Chemicals. Once they were stars, but then struggling. See TCS in the middle because when the market is in a boom, it's kind of star, lot of profit and whatever. Suddenly, other companies have overtaken new technology. They may be kind of doubtful. It's like that. Okay.
Sir, just a second. Can you explain what exactly is market growth again?
Yeah. Who is this?
Sir, it's me, Prathamesh, sir.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What you want to know? Market growth rate.
No, what? Yeah, what is that? The rate at which the like the number of consumers increases, or what is it?
Yeah, see, in simple terms, what you told is correct. But in terms of BCG, we are looking at market growth rate compared to the next best competitor. Okay, see, suppose if there are two phone companies. Okay, so one company's growth rate is 10% every quarter. Another company's growth rate is 12% every quarter. So we compare amongst them and then we tell the market growth rate is high or low for the purpose of BCG matrix. Hmm? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Sure, no?
Sir, I'll figure it out. I think along the lines I'll figure it out.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so market growth rate, you know, how many people are willing to buy your product, how much growth you can document. That's in general. In BCG matrix, we talk with respect to the next best competitor. Okay, so here are some examples of different companies, how different products fall in different categories. You can have a look at it later. Okay, see now this is what I was telling to you that time, the life cycle, product life cycle. If you see that curve there, okay, that is a typical product life cycle: introduction, growth, maturity, decline. So if you relate that curve with BCG matrix or Boston Consulting Group matrix, usually the products in the introduction stage we can classify them as question mark. Okay, we are not sure how the market is going to react. Either everybody will buy your product or it may backfire or whatever. But there is no much competition and there is a chance of high growth. Okay, when your product is star, that is the growth stage. When people are buying your product like anything, your sales are gone up, you're making huge profit. Here the competitors jump in. Now they know the technology, they are also coming with something. You are making Puma, they are making Pama or Poma. You are having Nike, they are having Nike. You have Adidas, the Abibascom, or whatever, different kind of things, or the normal ones itself. You are coming with the Samsung, OnePlus is coming, another, so many things. So competitors are there, you know, threat for you. So if you don't do anything, then comes the maturity stage. Okay, that's the cash cow. You were a star before, but now you should have something extra. You should have that X factor. Otherwise, very soon you will be in the decline stage. Okay, so at this stage, what they do, they come with the beta version, add something new to the product, and from there another curve is generated. Okay, this is called S curve in technology terms. These are called technology S curves, typical this kind of thing. So a new curve comes there. Again, introduction of that growth, maturity, decline. So if you compare this and a BCG matrix, the cash cows will be the maturity stage and the dogs are the decline stage. So when you categorize where my product is right now, for example, if you take your branch ENC where it is, okay, how much time we have, what should we do, whatever. If you take aeronautical, where it is, okay, is it a question mark or star or what kind of things we can do to develop, or if it is in some other stage, what to do. Okay, so like this. Yeah, more examples for you. Mm, this is one important thing from this. Okay, what are the 4 strategies that you will adopt after doing this BCG matrix? Okay, this is sometimes asked for 2 marks. BCG matrix usually asks for 3 or 4 marks. Okay, what is this? Classify so many things. Or then you are asked what are the strategies that evolve from that. So you can use these 4: build, hold, maintain, harvest, and divest. So what is the meaning? See, if you look at this, see, hold or maintain, we can put it for your stars. Okay, try to make it star as much as possible. Advertise more, make good quality, reduce price, but make more sales. Okay, if you look at, build, it can be your question mark stage. Okay, build on it. Try to do something new, package it in a new way, try to give it new lease of life. Harvest is your cash cow. Okay, your product has reached, a stage where it was star before. Now people are not buying it more, so try to sell whatever you have, buy one get one free, do whatever you have and come out of it. Otherwise your product may go to dogs, that is divest. Okay, come out of that business, pump that money somewhere else. So this is one way of looking at it. Okay, see, this is not in your syllabus, just I have put it for your understanding. You must have come across these things. Okay, growth strategy, sometimes you must have heard merger, acquisition, direct expansion. Okay, just for understand, direct expansion is, you are having a plant here, you start something in Jaipur. Okay, you have more money, start one more in Bangalore, something like that. Okay, merger is when, usually two companies of similar sizes come in. Okay, Maruti Suzuki, or you can have n number of examples. Same two kind of things, similar, sometimes mostly in the same kind of zone. Okay, to Syndicate Bank, Canara Bank, both are in banking sector. You merge. Okay, acquisition is when a larger company takes a smaller company. Okay, since this is a zone of startups, so usually acquisition happens there. Okay, the big companies, they come and acquire your company at some cost, because you are doing something in a small scale than what they are doing. So they find out that if they can acquire your company, they can look after it well, you get benefit, they get benefit, their competition gets reduced, they can you know benefit from your collaboration. So that is acquisition. Okay, so these are some terms which you usually use in the market, and because of this COVID era, this is usually common. Okay, this business has acquired that business, these people have merged, this company is going for direct expansion. See, Big Bazaar and some other Reliance Mart or something is merging, or Reliance is acquiring that company, or they have decided for direct expansion. So that's why I put it here, so that when you read it somewhere, you don't get confused what it is about. Okay, so next comes your Porter's model. This we have seen in the last class. Overall cost leadership, differentiation strategy, and focus strategy. So are the question papers that we discussed today. Hmm. So there is something called strategic planning process. One important figure. that we will see in the next class. Okay. Mm, and then we'll continue with the next chapter. So right now, no information about any assignment or test or something. So till then, we'll try to finish as much as we can. So by today, we have finished your strategic planning tools. Next class, we'll finish strategic planning process, and then we'll start with the new chapter called organizing. And we'll see what happens. Okay. Yeah, any doubt at this stage? If you have no doubts, then we can call it a day. No doubts? Okay. Then see you in the next. Uh,
Thank you, sir.
yes, thank you. See you in the next class.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.